Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, let's get original crew, man. We're back. We got 3 real life murder encounter horror stories. What would you do if you encounter? I think I asked you that last time.
And I don't think I had an answer for you then.
You still ain't got no answer.
I don't know. I pray nothing ever happens where I have to, I don't know.
Deal with somebody.
Or know that I have come in contact with someone that just, you know what I'm saying?
Just somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
got time
that
for
would.
it.
That probably would shake me up a little bit.
Facts, man. Facts. But hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want to first support, all you have to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
like it with a thumbs up.
Well, highly appreciate it. But let's dive into it, y'all. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready, C?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it, y'all.
This encounter happened back in 2007 when I was 20 years old. I'm a female, and I didn't get my driver's license until January of that year. So now being able to drive myself opened a lot of doors for me. And because of that, I took a lot of solo road trips to my friend's house that was a couple states over. I remember one time specifically, I was driving alone on an interstate on a random day in July on my way to visit my friend for a long weekend. Her parents were away, and we had the house to ourselves and were planning on drinking, hot tubbing, and to overall just have a good time. It was a Friday, and I had left a lot later than I wanted to. It was dark at this point, and being a new driver, driving in the dark made me pretty uneasy. After a few hours, I stopped at a gas station to fill up and get some snacks for the last part of my drive. I was heading into the store when a man, maybe in his early 40s, approached me. He was only around 5 feet tall and had on a plain black tee and jeans with dark brown hair. I noticed he had come out of a black pickup truck and only moments ago parked a few spaces away from my car. The guy had a super intense stare that immediately creeped me out. As he caught up to me, he tried starting a conversation by asking if I was from the area, where I was headed, and if I knew of anything fun to do. I quickly replied with no, shaking him off as just another creepy dude. Though, surprisingly, he then invited me to go play mini golf or catch a movie with him. Without even looking at him, I declined his invitation and continued towards the store. Quite honestly, I was shocked he asked me to do something with him. The whole vibe was off. It was pretty uncomfortable and just random. As I was entering the store, I could then hear him yell a stern hey. It was super aggressive and uncalled for, that it even startled a family walking out of the store. Though I just ignored it and continued inside. Shortly after, I could tell the guy followed me. He was clearly staring at me, so I went to use the bathroom and stayed in the stall for at least 10 minutes texting my friend about the guy. Thankfully, when I came out, I couldn't see him in the store anymore. I then went out to put gas in my car, and was again relieved as his black pickup was nowhere to be seen. Though, to my absolute horror, as I was pulling out of the gas station parking lot, I could hear someone persistently honking their horn. I looked in my rearview mirror and I could clearly see the same black pickup behind me. The guy was now shouting and signaling me to pull over to the side. I of course freaked out, stepped on it and pulled onto the on-ramp back onto the highway. But the guy was following me. I called my friend extremely terrified. I drove really fast, and looking back, I'm lucky I didn't get into an accident. The guy didn't follow me for that long, and I think only after a few exits he was gone. Though, even still, the last hours of my drive were extremely tense. I didn't stop for the rest of the trip, and never saw the guy's car again. I remember checking my mirrors constantly the rest of the way. Eventually, I got to my friend's house safely, and we actually had a nice weekend despite the encounter. The whole thing was definitely creepy, but over the years I didn't think too much about it. That was until around 6 years later, when the memory would once again come fresh in my mind. I was talking with another friend of mine who was big into serial killer documentaries and things like that. I remember at one point I had mentioned my encounter, jokingly suggesting that the man I had met was a serial killer, and explained to her my experience. She was fascinated, and therefore wanted to Google active serial killers in the area of where I experienced it all. But the first guy that came up made my heart drop. It was a man named Adam Leroy Lane. I instantly recognized the guy. There was no doubt in my mind. That was the same guy I had encountered at the gas station that night. Both the time and the area were a match. The man had 3 convictions. It was 2 counts of murder and 1 count of assault. This discovery has haunted me ever since, and caused me to be much more cautious in public at night. My heart goes out to the victims of this man and their families. I've been grateful every day since that I didn't become one of them.
That's scary.
I might have to look him up. I guess it's not. I guess it's a lot of people out here be looking into these people.
It's different just looking into things and being
That's what
like
I do.
Fixated on
No,
stuff.
I look into things so I can find all the evidence and all the factual information, and then I'm done. I just make sure I'm well aware of the crimes they committed and all that type of stuff. Is there anything wrong with this?
Why do you feel the need to have to?
Yo, you want me to tell you? It's a lot of people they should do documentaries on. I think the black serial killer dude?
She said she looked up in her area.
You finna look at serial killers in my area. Why would you look up that? He gonna show up in your area.
None of your business. Why you look up things that you look up?
But remember about the black serial killer guy that's supposed to have killed like 90? He had like 90 or 100 bodies?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Black serial killer. Damn, that's a lot of. Samuel Little. That's who it is.
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
He only got a conviction of 8, but supposedly it says hold on, by Wikipedia. It says, which Wikipedia is not a credible source. You got to take it with a grain of salt. Samuel Little was an American serial killer of women who confessed to committing 93 murders between 1970 and 2005.
Oh, Samuel Little. Yeah, I do remember Samuel. Yeah, he had the truck. The was it a little red pickup truck?
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh.
The FBI Violent Crimes Apprehension Program has confirmed his involvement in at least 60 murders, the largest number of confirmed victims for any serial killer in American history. So yeah, I think he died. He's dead though, but I don't know if he went down death row with it or he ended up dying through. But yeah, Samuel Little. Yo, you remember it's a serial killer in Ohio? Those what was he leaving the people bodies in homes and stuff? But he was killing black women. I forgot. It was a black serial killer. Let me see. And that's the reason why it's good to know.
It's good to know what.
Like, study some of this stuff sometime. But this one, it says his name is Anthony Sowell. How would you say his name? Sowell. All right, so Anthony Sowell was an American serial killer in our word, known as the Cleveland Strangler. He was convicted. Huh?
Sorry, nothing.
I said the R word. I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
He was convicted in 2011 of murdering 11 women whose bodies were discovered at his Cleveland, Ohio home in 2009 after being sentenced to death for the murder. Sowell died in prison from a terminal illness. And they always go out like that. It's crazy. But, like, there's nothing wrong with, like, looking into this stuff, getting details and factual information. She be thinking I'm over obsessed with it. That's all. And I'm like, I'm not obsessed. It's just it's information out there for you that I feel like like,
But I'm saying,
I like true crime shit.
yeah.
I like true crime shit, and that's all it is. I think I got addicted to it from watching watching stuff as a kid though. And it's also very like pay attention to what your kids indulge in because
they can grow up to definitely be. Whew.
But like from watching what's the joint First 48, Criminal Minds, Oxygen, Snap.
Yeah,
I used to watch all that.
Love Criminal Minds. Loved not loved it, but I loved Criminal Minds. But
I love
used
First
to watch
48.
First 48. The reason why I don't want to say love because it was like true stuff, but
that's what I'm saying. Like First 48.
I don't love it because people was like it's like made me seem like I love that people was like nothing. I watched First 48.
The First 48 joints that used to be in Memphis. My mom knows some of them people that was on there. Like what's his name? Devron, the little light skinned dude. My mom was like he was crazy in prison. Like even in prison he was a little cuckoo. And then the dude that killed the truck driver with the truck driver situation, she know him too. And she used to tell me stories about that guy too. But she met a couple guys that was on First 48 though. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, I see you. Oh fucking cuckoo.
When I was in my early 20s and fresh out of college, I lived in some pretty sketchy, albeit cheap apartment buildings in the US.
We all do.
Now, something to note is that the walls in my apartment block out almost no sound. And because of this, I would almost always hear my neighbor to the left of me blasting his music. Though, if I'm being honest, it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. I would just simply play my own music to not hear it as loud. One night, I could tell he had been drinking a lot, simply from the way I could hear him stumbling across his room. I also figured his girlfriend must have been there, as I could hear him practically yelling at her, which unfortunately wasn't all that uncommon. Usually when things get that loud, I try to get away from it all, and seeing as it wasn't that late, I decided to head out for the night with some friends. We went to a few clubs, and overall had a good time. Fast forward to around 1 a.m. or so, and my friends were dropping me back off at my apartment. Though, as we were driving into the parking lot, in the distance we could see my neighbor outside crouched down in between some cars and the apartment building. Okay, kinda weird, but I figured it was whatever, as the guy was just generally creepy anyway. My friends were clearly more weirded out than I was. I honestly didn't think much of it, and just had them drop me off near the gate entrance, as it would be easier for them to leave the parking lot that way. But as I was walking toward my apartment building, I swear my heart dropped. I noticed my neighbor was now standing perfectly still in one of the bushes that was between two of the apartment buildings. As I got closer, it was clear he thought I didn't see him. To break the tension, I waved at him and mumbled a greeting, as I wasn't just gonna pretend that I couldn't see him.
No, you pretend like you don't see him. Like, you don't want me to see you, I don't see you. What would you do?
Philip, what you doing in the bushes?
I'm gonna take a mental note, but I'm gonna keep acting like
why are you steady? Like, why are you?
Because he probably has done something. He don't want nobody to know that.
I thought maybe at first I thought maybe you trying to like sneak up, thinking I don't see you. You go like pop out on me.
Even though I'm still like, all right, let me go ahead and get you then since you see me.
I mean, you was gonna try to get me regardless, but maybe that'll like spook you that I actually do see you. Maybe you want to. I don't know. Like, that's the thing when situations like this happen. Like, when you could say all day what you would do or won't do.
True.
But when you actually in it, like, your body just responds differently to things.
True.
So,
True that.
I really don't know for real.
I agree.
Yeah. After doing so, he stepped out of the bush and came into the dim streetlight, not saying a word, but rather just staring at me. Never in my life have I looked into eyes so widened and fully dilated.
Oh, God.
The whole encounter was disturbing to say the least, but I tried to ignore it and continued into the building. Right as I got to my apartment door, I got inside and went straight to bed. I was exhausted and just wanted to forget everything and go to sleep. Although, all through the night, I could hear thumps and rustling that sounded like furniture moving. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of cops outside banging on my neighbor's door. I was partially relieved to hear them, but that quickly turned to fear of why they were there in the first place. I could hear them take him away in handcuffs, and shortly after, the police started knocking on my door. They asked me when the last time I had talked to or seen him was, and without hesitation, I told the officer everything that had happened the other night. The yelling, the noises, the encounter in the parking lot, and even the rustling sounds all night. But what I was told next will forever haunt me. I was told that my neighbor had brutally murdered his girlfriend that night. They said he dragged her body outside and into a nearby ditch behind the apartment buildings. And that's when I realized that the other night I was looking at a person who had just taken another human being's life. I honestly felt terrible for the woman. To this day, what disturbs me most is how close I was to death, quite literally, and how he could have ambushed me out of insanity, since he was just waiting in the darkness when I walked up. I moved into a different apartment in a better part of town shortly after the occurrence.
Hell yeah. Fuck we gonna continue to stay in the hood for? And them hood style apartments, we all know. You hear the motherfucking neighbors, yeah, them hood style apartments. If you can hear it that clear, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
that's definitely sad.
RIP.
Yeah, RIP to the girlfriend. But yeah, that's definitely sad because like you probably may have thought that I saw something or witnessed something. You like I gotta take you out too because I ain't trying to get caught.
That's why I said I ain't making no eye contact. I don't see you. I'm gonna just keep walking. Because 9 times out of 10, he probably just dumped the body. And while he was on his way, he saw somebody coming up. So let me hide real quick.
I wonder, like, did someone find her, or did someone like call and say like they haven't heard from, like, since it was so quick, it was like the next day, like the next morning, whatever,
or heard a disturbance and reported
it.
Because now it's too quiet.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's sad. But yeah.
So you still speaking if you see you?
I guess.
She still would.
Like, because I haven't seen anything, so I don't want you to think that I've even seen anything, so I'm just going to play it cool. But I will say this. If I've never spoken to you before, no, I'm not going to, because then I think that'd be kind of weird. Like, if I've never, like, said hey to you before. Like, we neighbors. Like, I see you in passing, but I've never spoke to you before. No, I'm not going to speak.
Say, for instance, down there, he did something. The one that be speaking all the time. And then you walking the dog one night, he hide behind the bush. You gonna say, hey, you know you not. Yeah, I'm saying if he had did. Say, I'm just using him as an example in the same case.
And he had
and that night you walking the dog like you normally do.
Am I going to speak to him?
Yeah, if you see him, but he hiding behind his bush.
Yeah, probably. Because I speak to him all the time. And he speak to me all the time. So
if you see him like this...
I'm like, are you okay? Like,
I'm not asking what the fuck I did.
I'm like, is something wrong?
I'm gonna add it because you hiding behind the bush. You don't want nobody to see you, so I don't see you, but I see you.
He a little older, so I would also think that some probably like not right. And since he always seemed like, you know, I'm like, Mr. I ain't gonna say his name, but Mr. We know his name, but Mr. Such and Such. Are you okay? Is everything okay?
I ain't gonna say that.
But you know something? I probably would, because my radar. I know I'm right now. I'm saying that, but no, like legit, like you know, my radar would go off because I'm like, he has a whole wife, right? Exactly. So why would you be outside hiding in the bush? Where's your wife?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my radar at that moment probably wouldn't do that.
Why the fuck you just hiding in the bushes?
Like that would be kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Or even across the street. Say for instance,
which one?
Across the street, right across.
Oh, directly. Yeah.
What if, say for instance, you just heard some commotion, heard some screaming.
Yeah.
And you walk past him, and he hiding right there.
I definitely don't think something with him, because
he just like this behind the bush.
Oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, he done did something to his, and I'm calling the police. I'm definitely
you speaking?
In that situation. No, because I don't speak to him.
But you know a name.
Yeah, I know his name, but I
didn't say what's up to him.
Well, I spoke to him one time. That time when whatever was happening, and we were trying to figure out what was going on.
Next door.
I'm definitely calling him. I'm definitely calling.
Next door. We done heard. Yeah. We done heard. So just imagine the Bronco.
If it's there a little too long, I'm calling because she always going off on him.
And you just hear a loud commotion, but these walls ain't that thin.
No.
But we don't hear nothing. But outside you hear them arguing or something. If
it's there a little.
And she behind the bushes.
Why we keep talking about the bushes?
Because the person was behind. And I'm saying you walking your dog and you coming back and they behind the bushes just standing.
Yeah. Especially if I ain't seen them like come in and out as you leaving and going, or if I see.
Yeah.
I'm calling. Cause she crazy. She look cool.
But so you calling on him, you calling on her, but you ain't calling on the old man.
I said I would call.
No, you didn't.
No,
you didn't.
I didn't say I would call on him, but I said at that moment, like my radar would go off.
But you just said you gonna call the police on across the street, and you say you'll call the police on the next door.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the police on whoever.
No, you ain't.
I would call the police on that man.
Wouldn't.
Yes, I will. This is when you first asked me, I said I would still speak to him, and then I said no, probably I wouldn't, because my radar would go off and be like, "Why are you outside in the bushes? And where's your wife at?" That would be weird to me. So y'all would think something wrong. So I probably would call for help, because I would think something wrong. You done probably did something to your wife. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know the car been missing for a couple of days.
They probably on that little
the other car comes and goes, and it's sometimes it's repositioned.
She come off a little mean anyway. No, I'm just funny, but she do come off a little mean though.
I speak to her.
She crazy.
I'm a female and 22 years old. I just recently got out of a pretty abusive relationship. And honestly, I wasn't in the best place mentally because of it. If I'm being real, it was difficult for me to now have to go home each night to an empty apartment with just myself. Anyways, this night my friends had decided to take me to a hockey game to get me out of the house and potentially get my mind off of the breakup. It was a Friday night, and we had been consuming a decent amount of alcohol during the progression of the game. In the arena we were attending, there was this bar where you could buy as many drinks as you wanted, within reason of course. And following the game, we decided to head there for a few more before we left. It was a busy night, so especially considering the game was coming to a close, the line was decently long. During the duration of the time I was patiently waiting, I had started to speak with a couple guys right next to me. Shortly into the conversation, one of them spoke up and asked for my phone number. Looking back, I definitely should have said no, but in the state I was in, I gave it to them.
She said she gonna always give that number out, y'all. That's disrespectful. And she got a ring. That's disrespectful. She said, I don't give a damn. I'll make sure I can come home at night.
The only reason I said that is because a lot of people do not know how to
handle rejection.
And I don't want to tick you off, especially if alcohol involved and you around your buddies and then you feel a little embarrassed or maybe... Yeah. Even I could be the nicest person and be like, no, I have a significant other, or no, thank you, I'm not interested, or whatever. You never know who you're dealing with. Yeah. But it could go bad either way sometimes. Even if I give it to you, then you start blowing me up, then you end up fighting, like,
or seeing you out again.
After we had finally gotten our drinks, my friends and I decided to call it a night. We parted ways. But instead of calling an Uber and going back to my apartment, I very stupidly decided to text the man I had previously exchanged contact information with.
You stupid.
He responded almost right away, saying he'd head over in an Uber and take me back to his place if I wanted. Again, I made a stupid decision and agreed. Eventually he showed up and we were off back to his place. Though the drive was a good 45 minutes.
Woo!
When we arrived, I quickly realized we were practically in the middle of nowhere. We weren't anywhere close to the city anymore, and as I looked around, I realized no other property was in sight.
Woo!
Quite honestly, without context, I easily would have mistaken his house for an abandoned building. It was that bad. But regardless, being as intoxicated as I was, I quickly disregarded all my suspicion and followed the man to the front door. As we entered, I quickly realized how clean the place looked from the inside. Like, think hospital level clean, even down to the smell. Without even offering, he quickly poured us a glass of seemingly expensive red wine. I thought nothing of it at the time, and from what I remember, he poured it right in front of me and even drank some himself. Though that was the last memory I had of that night. Next thing I knew, I was in a bedroom with the sun now clearly shining through the window.
Okay.
The noise of a shower running quickly filled my ears. I was groggy and dazed when I woke up, but I slowly began piecing together where I was, who I was with, and just the overall situation I was in. As it came back to me, I realized I needed to leave immediately. I frantically began to search for my cell phone, clothes, and wallet, but it was no use. I couldn't find them. I rushed out of the bedroom in the hopes to just leave unnoticed prior to this man getting out of the shower. But as I was leaving, my heart sank into my stomach. All of the furniture and floors were completely covered with plastic shower curtains, which I distinctly remember not being there prior to me blacking out the night before. I quickly noticed all of my personal belongings were placed neatly on the kitchen counter, alongside a knife that clearly wasn't a kitchen knife, but rather a hunting knife or something like that. My instincts kicked in, and I instantly grabbed my things and ran out the door. I ran for several minutes in a random direction, panicked and full of adrenaline. A good 10 minutes of full-on running down the road, and I finally stopped to call a friend to pick me up and take me back to my apartment. When I got back, I instantly blocked the guy's number, and to this day have never heard anything from him again. Now, looking back, I realize I should have contacted the authorities immediately, but for whatever reason I never did. It's clear I was not in the right state of mind at that point in my life. And this eats away at me daily, as I believe at this point it's too late for me to report the man, seeing as I don't even have the slightest recollection of where his house was located, or even his name. The detail that haunts me the most is that the only thing missing of my personal belongings was my ID, and this makes me question what the guy's true intentions were. Though, if I'm being honest with myself, I truly believe that man planned on murdering me that morning.
Chopping up,
the plastic shower curtains all over the apartment and the knife make it clear to me. But I guess I'm just lucky to have never truly found out.
Chop them up, slice them up, get rid of the teeth, get rid of the fingerprints. Can't identify the body. Because if I pull your teeth, you can't get dental records. If I chop up your fingertips, you can't give fingerprints to be able to identify the body. I got to remove everything that got trace. I don't know why she be staring at me like, bro, true crime. I told you. I love true crime, so I understand certain things. Just make sure you got a hairnet on and some gloves. You don't want DNA falling off. So you got hair, gloves, and make sure you got like surgical gear on. No skin follicles possible. Because you got skin that's always falling off. Yeah, dead skin. Maybe they can recover some skin follicles from the body. And it trace back to me. Hey, if you're gonna do it, be smart about it. God damn. And why the fuck you in the shower with the... See me scared.
No, I'm not scared. I just be a little weirded out. But I'm not scared. But yeah, I know true crime and that's, stuff you gotta... Yeah, I get that. But it's just, the way people talk about it. It just weird me out a little bit.
Hey, man. Y'all spam us up in the comments, man. Let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it goes, man. I do go for the day, DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are
Kid and C.
See, why are you doing it so slow?
Am I? Okay, let's do it again. You have to do all
That's
that.
what you was doing.
Okay, let's do it again.
I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
See.
Okay.
Why are you taking these dramatic pauses?
Okay, one more time.
Because you know you are.
I really did.
It's not flowing.
Okay, let's.
So you make the ending way longer than it needs to be.
Can you just go? Come on.
Just let you know.
Go.
I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole. You said make it go. I'm right behind you. Come on.
That ain't even flowing. That's forcing this.
Let's go. Come on. Let's do it.
I do go with the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We Are.
Kid and C.
We out.
Peace.
Ain't no time to kick it, gotta stack a flip for my foes. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me watch out for my pocket.